the KMNN studios, this is the Kids Morning News Network. Good morning, friends. It's December 4th, 2024, the 339th day of the year. December. Welcome to the Kids Morning News Network podcast. I'm Alex in the KMNN studio. Happy National Cookie Day. That's right, it's a whole day dedicated to one of the yummiest treats ever. Cookies have actually been around for centuries. The word cookie comes from a Dutch word that means little cake. And actually, most English-speaking countries call them biscuits, but here in the US, they're cookies. Sailors used to take cookies on long sea voyages because they lasted a long time. Gotta have good snacks on a long voyage. In America, cookies became super popular in the 1900s thanks to inventions like the chocolate chip cookie. So how can you celebrate National Cookie Day? Well, you can get a grown-up to help and bake some cookies from scratch, or try out a new recipe. Expand your cookie template with an oatmeal raisin, snickerdoodle, or even a fancy macaron. Not macaroon, macaron. And you can share your creations with other people who love cookies. It's also World Wildlife Conservation Day. World Wildlife Conservation Day was established in 2012 by the U.S. State Department. It was created to raise awareness about wildlife conservation and to fight against illegal poaching. This day reminds us that every creature has a role in nature and needs our protection. And wildlife conservation isn't just about saving cute animals. Protecting wildlife helps keep ecosystems balanced. For example, bees pollinate plants that grow our food. And predators like wolves help control populations of other animals. And when one species disappears, it creates a ripple effect that can harm the environment and even people. Now you might be thinking, what can I do? I'm just a kid. But believe it or not, you can make a big difference. Just learning about wildlife conservation helps you do something positive, because knowledge is power. On World Wildlife Conservation Day, let's remember that every little action counts. Whether you're spreading awareness, helping protect habitats, or saying no to harmful products, you are part of a global team working to save our planet's incredible creatures. On this very day in 1872, one of the greatest mysteries of the sea began. The tale of the ghost ship Mary Celeste. Yep, this isn't a made-up story, friends. It really happened, and no one knows why. So let's go back to December 1872 on the high seas, and a British ship named the Dei Gratia was sailing across the Atlantic. They spotted another ship drifting in the distance. The Mary Celeste, a merchant ship that had left New York City 8 days earlier. They kind of knew each other. But something was very, very wrong. When the sailors boarded the Mary Celeste, they found her completely empty. The captain, his family, the entire crew, 10 people in total, were gone. No signs of struggle, no signs of a storm, like they vanished into thin air. And here's where it gets even weirder. The Mary Celeste was in good shape. Her cargo, which was these barrels of industrial alcohol, was untouched. Food supply could have lasted months, and there was plenty of fresh water. The crew's belongings were still in their rooms, and even the captain's logbook was there with no hint that anything was wrong. The only clue was that the ship's lifeboat was missing. So did the crew abandon the ship, and if so, why? Well, over the years, people have tried to solve this mystery, but no one has come up with the one and only answer. Some people think that the cargo let off fumes that made an explosion. The crew got scared, hopped into the lifeboat, and disappeared at sea. Other people think a water spout, like a mini tornado over the ocean, might have panicked them. But then there are the creepier theories, like pirates. But then why would pirates leave the cargo? or sea monsters. Yes, some people think sea monsters, even alien abductions. And then, of course, there's the idea of a curse, a bad omen that doomed the Mary Celeste. Well, could be anything. Even today, the fate of the Mary Celeste remains one of the greatest mysteries of the sea. What do you think happened? Was it science? Superstition? Or something out of this world? Let me know. Drop me a line through the link in the episode description or send me an email at kidsmorningnews@gmail.com. Who doesn't love a kitten? Now, how about a kitten that's 35,000 years old? Not just any kitten, a saber-toothed kitten. Recently, a team of researchers in Siberia found the mummy of a saber-toothed kitten perfectly preserved in the frozen ground. Acted like a natural freezer. And because of this, the fur and the whiskers and even its sharp little teeth are still intact. Now, saber-toothed cats were fierce hunters with long, curved fangs. You've seen pictures. But this kitten, named Sparta, was just a baby, part of a species known as scimitar cats, and they were once very common in Europe, Asia, and North America. And what makes Sparta so special is how much we can learn from it. Scientists are studying its DNA to understand how these saber-toothed cats lived and survived in the harsh Ice Age conditions. That should give us clues about how animals today might adapt to a changing world. Did you know that saber-toothed cats weren't actually tigers? They were more like distant cousins to lions and leopards. They went extinct about 10,000 years ago, but discoveries like this bring their fascinating world back to life. All right, it's riddle time. Last week my riddle was, what is at the end of a rainbow? Well, that's easy. The letter W. This week's riddle is, what tastes better than it smells? What tastes better than it smells? I would say sardines, but that's not the answer. I'll give you the answer next Wednesday. You got to make sure to follow or subscribe to the Kids Morning News Network so you don't miss it. In an earlier episode, we talked about the deepest hole ever drilled. Well, imagine drilling a hole so deep it reaches 12 miles down, where the rocks are sizzling at over 700 degrees Fahrenheit. It's like twice as hot as your oven. Well, there is a new technology being developed that could completely change how we get energy and let us drill down that deep. Traditional drills can't handle the intense heat and pressure. So the new solution is using microwaves. Yes, microwaves. Scientists are developing a way to vaporize rock using beams of energy instead of smashing through it. Kind of like using a laser, but cooler or hotter. And here's how it could help us. The Earth's core produces a ton of heat. And right now we only tap into geothermal energy in special places like Iceland, where it's easy to reach. But if this microwave tech works, we could drill anywhere in the world and harness energy for nearly everyone. So here's how it would work. First, the microwave beam would bore a hole deep down into the earth, and then water would be sent down, heated into super hot steam by the sizzling rocks, and then shot back up to power turbines, which spin and create electricity. Of course, even with microwaves, drilling that deep would be a big challenge. Anything you send down there would need to survive the extreme heat, and scientists have to figure out how to stop the holes from just collapsing. But this groundbreaking, pun intended, technology could help us protect our planet while keeping the lights on. And who knows, maybe one of you will invent the next big thing in clean energy. Well, you know I love to end the show with a poem when I can, and it's been a while. But today is the birthday of the poet Rainer Maria Rilke. He was born in 1875 in Prague, now in the Czech Republic, but back then it was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. His childhood? Not so great. His parents wanted him to become a soldier, so they sent him to a strict military school. And he hated it. But you know what? That experience may have helped shape his poetry. He spent a lot of time thinking about feelings and the meaning of life. And his writing is famous because it's super deep, like let's sit quietly and think about the universe kind of deep. He asked big questions like what's the point of life, or how do we deal with sadness and change? And he wrote poems and books that captured those feelings in a beautiful way. One of his most famous works is called Letters to a Young Poet. It's a series of letters he wrote to a young writer who wanted advice. Rilke told him to trust his own voice and to be patient. He believed that art and life come from being true to yourself. That's pretty cool advice. His poems are still loved today. People read them when they're feeling happy, when they're feeling sad, or when they just want to explore the big questions in life. And for you budding poets out there, take a page from Rilke's book. Write about what matters to you. Be curious, be patient, and be open to the world. So here's a poem from Rilke called Evening. The bleak fields are asleep. My heart alone wakes. The evening in the harbor down his red sails takes. Night, guardian of dreams, now wanders through the land. The moon, a lily white, blossoms within her hand. Well, that's the show. Thank you very much for listening. Please follow or subscribe to the Kids Morning News Network on your podcast player, your podcast app, your smart device, or whatever you are using to listen to today's episode. I will be back next week, and I hope that you are too. From the KMNN Newsroom, this is Alex signing off.